Imagine knocking on the door of the smartest investors on Wall Street, pitching a business idea you know in your bones is going to work. Now imagine hearing the word no 200 times. That relentless string of rejections didn't kill the idea. Today, that exact concept operates as a $100 billion global empire. This creates a massive disconnect. If the end result was this massive, why did 200 financial experts look at the same data and see nothing but a failure? It turns out, significant innovations often look indistinguishable from bad ideas to the people guarding the money. In the early 1980s, coffee in America was a simple tool. You drank it out of a thick ceramic mug to wake up. It was cheap, it was bitter, and it was strictly a utility. Over in Seattle at that same time, a small shop called Starbucks was doing something different. But even then, you couldn't actually buy a brewed cup of coffee there. They only sold raw roasted beans for home use. When Howard Schultz stumbled upon this store in 1981, he identified a gap in American life. People had their homes and their offices, but they lacked a third place, a communal space in between the two. He wanted to fill that void by bringing the community-driven Italian-style coffee house to the United States, a space focused on the environment and the conversation as much as the drink. But an idea without funding is just a thought. To make this real, Schultz had to enter a years-long battle with the financial establishment to secure the capital. To understand why he didn't quit after the first 50 rejections, you have to look at his baseline. Schultz grew up in a Brooklyn public housing project, raised in a family that struggled financially throughout his childhood. He spent his youth watching his father work exhausting, insecure labor jobs, positions that offered no benefits and no job security. The drive to escape that cycle pushed him. He fought for a football scholarship, finished college, and eventually secured a stable corporate position. He had achieved the financial safety his family never had. And then he voluntarily walked away from it to gamble everything on a coffee bean shop. His history suggests that hearing no from a wealthy investor didn't carry much weight. He was resilient because boardroom rejection was minor compared to the poverty he had already survived. By 1987, Schultz was ready to buy Starbucks outright. The only obstacle was that he had no personal wealth to fund the acquisition. This chart shows investors' logic. On the left, the 50-cent diner coffee. Experts saw the high price of an Italian-style cafe and concluded Americans wouldn't pay. They also applied geographical logic, viewing cafe culture as strictly European, impossible to integrate into the American workday. Most founders would have stopped after the 100th rejection. The smartest minds on Wall Street were in total agreement that the model was flawed. Schultz kept pitching, and after crossing the threshold of 200 rejections, he finally secured the capital from a handful of risk-takers. The experts focused on the unit price of coffee beans, ignoring the value people placed on the social environment and the community Schultz intended to build. After buying the company in 1987, Schultz immediately pivoted. He moved away from the raw bean model to focus entirely on the customer's physical experience inside the store. He built the business on 3 specific pillars: comfortable seating, quality service, and product consistency that stayed the same whether you were in Seattle or New York. Once the third place concept was accessible, it spread quickly across the United States and then the world. He took a basic commodity and changed where, how, and at what price millions of people drink it every morning. Today, Starbucks operates in more than 80 countries, serving tens of millions of customers every single week. And the founder, who was rejected over 200 times, now has a personal net worth estimated at over $4 billion. Businesses on this scale are rarely validated at the start. They are built by people with enough psychological resilience to survive 200 rejections, just to find the one person who says yes. Follow for more real stories behind the world's most successful people.